feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't run away.
I just want to get my man's opinion on what's going on, man. Yo, Carl, man, we on the stream, man. Listen,
man, hold on. I gotta hang up. I gotta hang up. Not on you. I'm on the line with somebody. Give me 2 seconds.
Text me, gang.
Hold on.
Oh man. Yo, what is hip hop, dog?
You there?
I'm here. Yo, Carl, listen, I've been watching your tweets. I think sometimes we think alike. I know your passion for hip hop is unmatched.
Yep.
I just want to give, because I've read the tweets, I just want to get your opinion on everything you've seen today. I'm flabbergasted. Listen, I've never seen a sequence of events of hip hop ever like this. I'm almost dumbfounded, and I don't know if I need to savor the moment because it might never happen like this again when it's all said and done, or are we in a time that we should be very grateful for? What's your thoughts?
I mean, we should be grateful for it because, even when we talk about part of the conversation being about rap, hip hop being a competitive sport, it was lacking for a while. We haven't seen people go at it since Drake and Pusha T, unless I'm missing something, and that's 6 years ago. And it was looking like...
you just dated us right now. 2018 was really 6 years ago. You're right.
It was 6 years ago. So it was looking, because even, one thing I've been paying attention to this whole time, right? I've been looking at the big three, Drake, Kendrick, Cole, and when they came in. And 10 years ago, right around this time, they were already cemented as the leaders of that generation, right? So as far back as 4 or 5 years ago, I started paying attention to the decade flipping and paying attention to who's going to come in and do what they did. Okay, you had your time on the throne, and now I'm coming in. It's my turn. And I kept on waiting and waiting and waiting. And no one was saying nothing. The closest thing we got is a couple bars from Jack Harlow. No one took offense to him. They just let him rock, and that's it. People just more concerned with other things nowadays. So I think we need to enjoy this moment because I don't know what the future of hip-hop as a competitive sport is.
Hey, I want to ask you a general question because we've seen men at the top of the genre, of the sport, of the culture. Jay-Z had his time. We won't even mention 50 because 50 was almost inviting some of these things. Have we ever seen a situation where it almost feels like this is a coup? This is people. No, I'm serious. This is.
I know you are.
This is people who are saying we are dethroning you by exposing you, but also defeating you. We've never seen this. And also we've never seen it, especially I think most people would say out of every artist that's ever occupied the top spot, the artist that has helped and facilitated the most with upcoming artists is this guy. I am flabbergasted that this is happening. I thought that was always going to be the insurance package, that this would never happen.
Yeah. Well, the throne, that comes with the territory, right? Shots. But you're right. Because if you go back in time, whoever was on top was always getting shots. But this, first project comes out, and clearly it's a statement in terms of Future and Metro. The title of it, a lot of the references, Future saying, you was my number one fan, and obviously Kendrick on like that. At the time, it just felt like, here's the thing. You know me, I don't reveal personal conversations, just the same way you referenced earlier when you was talking about speaking with the boy. So I'm not gonna speak on behalf of Kendrick and those guys, but I know how they move, and ain't no way in hell they would come out and do something if it looked like they were part of people ganging up on one person. The first project was one thing. When the second project came out, and all of a sudden Rocky's coming out and saying something, and I'm like, the weekend is shooting, and I'm like, yo.
Rocky to me was inevitable. I think the weekend.
Yes, I agree, but the way it happened, right? It looked like you said you used a great word. That's why I started laughing. You used the word coup. It started looking like a coordinated effort to get this one dude out of here. And the thing that I don't think they're realizing, like, that's why I started making, like, Thanos references. You needed all the Avengers to get Thanos out of here. Yo, they giving him a lot of power just by ganging up on him. Like, so you can't go mano a mano? Like, you got to jump in the fray and join all these other people to get this one dude out the spot?
Let me put it in this frame, though. When anyone has ever challenged the top guy always has they have the power of saying, I'm popular, I influence culture more than anybody else coming at me. This is the first time where formidably the people who seem to align with him are also the cool guys as well. Future is the king of the streets. You have The Weeknd, the biggest pop star. These are people who essentially, they are part of the upper echelon, the coolest crowd. And yeah, even if Drake is the most popular, if all of them are saying they're kicking him out of that cool club, it holds a weight, because when Future never does some shit like this, The Weeknd never does some shit like this. It almost feels like, I'm like stuck in between saying, what did he do, to, wow, this is an amazing attempt at doing the coup, which I don't know will be successful, but I don't know if Drake also remains the same artist going forward.
I think he's too big to fail.
No, I'm not saying he won't be on top, but being the same artist where he's unilaterally and universally the guy who, saying he made this line about Kendrick where he's like, yo, they love me more in your city than you. And I'm like, well, I don't know if that's the case there, but I'm pretty sure in Mexico they probably love him more than Peso Pluma. No disrespect to Peso Pluma, I know he's huge over there, but it's just like, this guy's an international type of guy, where it's like Drake, like, if you were around a bunch of people you didn't know their musical taste or musical palette, and you had to find a common ground, you'd put Drake on, right? It's a common ground, right?
Yep.
I'm wondering if any of this makes Drake not the guy who is palatable to everybody, and just through them saying, yo, we don't fuck with this guy. This guy is like, I don't know.
I think that's going to depend on the music he comes out following the dust settling. If he comes out with music that resonates with people, he'll be good. That's what I think. I don't know that you can. I mean, and here's the thing: the flip side of that argument is him, like, I don't want to say regaining his position, because he's the number one guy right now. But you look at the last 3 to 4 years, he hasn't been as dominant as he was around 2018. Like, I saw this interview you did with Vlad when you guys were going back and forth, and you were talking about Scorpion as the album where he had the biggest hits, and that is correct. God's Plan number 1 in 10 weeks. Right after that, Nights for What replaces God's Plan, and then In My Feelings a couple weeks later, number 1 for like 8 weeks. Like, Drake was number 1 on the Hot 100 for like 6 months.
Which, by the way, answered perfectly to 2 things. 2017, you have Damn comes out by Kendrick. He's commercially the most viable artist. and then
Yep.
Pusha T then attacks Drake's credibility. Not only, obviously, I don't think he got the better of that beef. He stopped responding. But what he did respond with is all the hits. Like, the hits just kept coming, right?
I always said that. I always felt like that onslaught of hits. No. Let's backtrack. Remember, at the end of 2017,
Yeah.
he went quiet for a little bit. No more features. No more songs. No more Lucy's.
Yeah.
And if you research, there was an article that came out that said it was the first time Drake wasn't on the Hot 100 since 2009 or some shit. And if you remember, the rollout wasn't only God's Plan. It was Block Boy JB Look Alive. And remember, so Drake made us miss him. Because remember the line, I've been gone since like July, niggas acting like I died. It's like he knew that he had to go away to come back.
Hey, by the way, I have the article
like,
pulled up, and this is why I love talking to people like you, because this is higher level elephant brain, remembering shit. August 15, 2017, Fader runs the article. Drake isn't on the Hot 100 chart for the first time in over 8 years.
Exactly. 2009, right?
Yes.
So 8 years.
Yeah. May 2009. Since the release of his debut single, best I ever had.
Exactly, right? That's crazy, by the way. that's insane. But I always felt like that rollout / Scorpion was a response to the narrative that Kendrick was now on top with Damn. Because again, to the point you made on Vlad, and I've said the same thing behind the scenes, not only did he outsell Drake that year, he outsold everybody.
Yeah.
Damn was in the US at least, Damn was the highest selling album across genres in 2017, period.
Absolutely.
So the momentum was in Kendrick's favor. So it's almost like Drake was like, bet, watch this.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to me.
And if we go back to that singular moment, it could have went either way. Say Drake takes a 2-year break and Kendrick says, I'm coming back with another album. Or like it could have went either way, changes the narrative on the history of things. Because you know what also people say about like Drake? There's years where Kendrick dropped amazing albums, but I think you guys have maybe done this before. It'd be like, yo, who was the best rapper or the rapper who dominated for what year? Drake wins a lot of years, but there is times when Kendrick almost was about to seemingly have a run, but it always runs into a cycle where Drake drops like 10 hits.
Yeah, I think Damn 2017 is a window where you have to give it to Kendrick, or there was a conversation around Kendrick. And the other moment was around Control, because Good Kid, Mad City was a phenomenon, and it had this long shelf life where it just wouldn't leave the charts. And it's kind of a throwback to old school releases where like people lived with the albums for months. And Control came out around 2013. I don't remember the chronology exactly, if it was before Nothing Was the Same or after. But if it's before, that means that he struck in the window between Take Care and Nothing Was the Same, and then gained that momentum as the guy possibly.
Yeah. Oh, Control dropped in 2013. But it was dropped August 12, 2013. Let me see.
That's before Nothing Was the Same. Nothing Was the Same came out in September.
Yo, motherfucker, your goddamn memory is crazy.
I'm telling you.
Yo.
So I think those are the two moments, because I do think Drake is the most dominant rapper ever in terms of numbers.
Okay.
It's not debatable. You just got to look at the numbers and
So this is what I would ask you. I'm calling it an attempted coup. What does this serve to prove or do? Because if Drake is still probably going to sell the most, right? I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, for whatever reason, as a hip hop fan, you know, Ross's people sent me the diss song, and we just played Ross's diss to Drake, and it just didn't feel right. It felt like I was like, damn, yo, like, why everybody's really coming at this guy unless it's like maybe I have to sit back and watch how this unfolds because I don't know, man. This shit kind of feels spooky to me, bro. I'm gonna be honest, bro.
There has to be some we don't know. Again, I don't want to speak for Kendrick and that side, but again, knowing how they move, for him, it has to be more about the sport and the culture. That's what he's proven over time. Everybody else, I don't know what the issue is. I heard the rumors. I don't want to repeat them. I know that that Metro and Drake were going back and forth about her laws versus heroes and villains. But I don't really know. Rocky, we kind of know what's behind that, right? We kind of know. But Ross, what the fuck? Like, what was the last? Yo, those two have made incredible songs together. Their track record is crazy.
Yo, Gold Roses to me is just like phenomenal.
I love that song.
Like, I mean, Lord knows it started at Lord knows. Like, Jesus. Like, I mean, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, so now we're at a point where it's like, you know, I've given my strong opinions on how I believe if fairly, and I know I am biased because I am a huge Drake fan, but I do think that I could give an objective opinion on how rap battles should be viewed. And I was trying to tell everybody, I'm like, hey, listen, in reality, if you go back in history, Takeover shouldn't necessarily go against Ether. It should have been Ether versus Super Ugly. Like, and a lot of people acknowledge that. However, those were the two popular songs that came out. So I've said previously, I said, hey, listen, like that, great song, amazing song. He threw the perfect jab. Now Drake knew what's up. Now Drake just dropped this new song. And this new song, perfect. But do we put that song versus like that, or are we waiting for the new Kendrick song? And then, how do we view this? Because Drake seemingly, at least on the first one, he's battling 6 people. Who knows if he drops, like say Kendrick drops something and he follows up with another track and he addresses Ross and Kendrick. Are we gonna give him some grace because he's battling multiple people, or should he just only fuck with or focus on Kendrick at this point, because that's what's the most important thing? How do we judge this issue?
So this is so layered. So he got to jab back at who's jabbing at him, right? So he didn't hit The Weeknd or Rocky on this one, right?
Does he really have to respond to? I feel like he's responded so many times to The Weeknd.
Sure, but he's petty. So, but you know what? You're right. You know what? Park that. Like, we respond to Rocky on your own time. Respond to The Weeknd on your own time. Don't distract from like love Ross. No. We've been waiting for this collision course for 10 years.
Yeah.
Don't distract what the people have been waiting to see all this time with some other people just jumping in. Because it does make it look weird if it's, what's the line he said? What is this, like 20 versus 1?
Yeah.
That looks crazy. So if I'm him, I address everybody. I'm not done with them, but I address everybody at least once. They'll catch some strays later.
Well, you just did though. So like, I guess I'm thinking about next steps.
No, this is the beginning of round 2, right? Because if the starting point is first person shooter.
No. Those are baits. The first round starts when Drake drops a full-on, it's only dedicated to be a diss song, this drop and Give Me 50 song. This is a full-on diss song. He drops that song, I think Kendrick needs to respond. Obviously.
So you think this is the start of round 1?
Yes, 100%. 100%.
But it can still be round 2 because they each won a round.
No, hold on. I'm going to tell you why it's not round 2. Because truth be told, and I love First Person Shooter, and I like, or I love the record Like That. Man, those records are records with the diss included. They're not dedicated disses. Like First Person Shooter is just a fucking amazing song. Yes, it has some subliminals and disses. Like that's an amazing song that has some subliminals and disses, even if that is more of the profile or the mantra of that song. Hey, Drake has finally dropped a full-on diss song. I'm calling the first round. If you want to call those other songs the first round, I guess, that's a matter of opinion. I need Kendrick to drop. Kendrick needs to drop not on a feature, not on some other shit. Hey, whatever you want to drop in relation to you dissing Drake, drop it. You don't think so?
Okay. No, it's not that I don't think so.
What's the next steps for you then if you don't think so?
Well, so because we know what's going on, right? Like, it's. I'm not the biggest boxing guy, but it still feels like
everybody's trying to counterpunch.
Exactly. But it also still feels like the beginning where you're punching but not really landing, like you're trying to see where your opponent is at. Yeah. Right? So I don't know. Like, Joe said that both sides had a nuke. This wasn't a nuke.
I agree.
And right? So this was a good response, not a nuke. And my question is, if you're Drake or if you're Kendrick, do you drop your nuke first? And the answer is probably no.
Well, here's the thing. I think Kendrick has to drop the nuke now.
I don't think so. I think he could. I think really? Kendrick can come back. No, I think he could come back and jab him again. Maybe a little bit more forcefully. Yeah, no,
the energy so. that Drake got was so direct, so disrespectful.
I think he can come back and put the fear of God in him without all of. He doesn't need to unload everything. He can come back, make him pause, and make Drake feel like, okay, I have to unload everything now. And then Kendrick responds with the nuke. I don't think he has to drop a nuke now. Absolutely not. Especially not. I'm telling you, and that's part of the thing that's fucking everything up is everybody else jumping in.
Hey, well, it fucked it up on both sides because I'm pretty sure. Yes. I'm pretty sure Drake, while if he had this record in the tuck, let's say it was finished or not finished, when you're responding to like that. Right? There's many lines responding to like that because that's the song that came before. When you have the guy who's also being dissed on like that, which is J. Cole, he just came out with like this blanket apologies. I'm sorry I ever rapped. I'm sorry I was born. I love you, Kendrick. You're the GOAT. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like now you have mythicized Kendrick's diss. Like it's now on a level where like, oh my God, like this was so good. A nigga apologized. So if the other nigga don't apologize, he better come with something 10 times greater for us to think it's even better.
Yeah, I think, listen, I hope they don't make us wait forever, like, to really, really go, like, with the final round.
No, hold on. Well, us as, pundits and, fans and people who are, interested parties, I think Kendrick got 2 weeks to respond.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Tell me.
Well, I think 2 weeks is too long, actually. Do you think it should be longer or less?
So I think the timelines are inconsistent. Like, I don't know if you want to go back in history or whatever, right? You were referencing Jay-Z and Nas. Like, people used to wait months for responses, right?
That's very different where niggas was on tour
I know,
and had to lock into a studio. These niggas could record in the closet.
Let's go back to more recent examples, right? Like, and let's use Drake as timeline, right? So Duppy and Story of Adidon were back to back very quickly, but they were baiting each other for a while, right?
Yeah, but we're squabbling now. The fight is on. Like I mean,
the fight is on. The fight is on.
After you've heard what Drake said today, it's clear that he wasn't trying to make a record. But by the way, look at how the record came out. I mean, has it been sent to DSPs? I haven't seen it being either ingested.
All right, so you know what? I thought about it. Here's why he doesn't have 2 weeks to respond. because people were on Drake's head after like that and said, yo, you got a week to respond.
Yes.
And people started doing like chatting and like, oh man, oh my God, Drake's letting us down this and that, whatever. And the rumor was, he's dropping Friday at the same time as Future and Metro. Nah, leaks the next day. People don't care about the timeline anymore because he delivered the record. So you can say Kendrick has 2 weeks. If he decides to take a month,
no,
and drop in a month, you're gonna be like, this is arbitrary numbers. I'm jumping. Like, I'm mentioning. I'm just saying, like,
a month we're thinking he ain't respond. You gotta realize the timeline for Drake only mattered because we believe that since this was a coup, this was a coordinated attack, we believe that there was going to be more disses or some other element, which it was, to Drake being dissed. And if he was going to drop a response to anything or all the disses, he should wait till at least the second Metro album came out. The Metro album came out on Friday. He leaked, or the track got leaked on Saturday. That seems like a guy who's he's time sensitive on this shit. Now, here's the thing. There's no more albums scheduled. There's no more responses scheduled. There's no deluxe for We Don't Trust You. Hey, this is you. You don't got to schedule it on Friday. Kendrick, drop the motherfucking track. That's what I would say.
So you say 2 weeks?
I would say 2 weeks because Drake got 2 weeks.
All right. But you know what I meant, right? Like, I feel like...
No, I know. Yo. I think Kendrick called him. Carl. Okay, it's a call fail. Oh my God, people. If you guys don't know who I was on the phone with, that's called Chery, the guy who runs Rap Caviar, the biggest playlist in the history of, streaming and playlisting, so salute to him. Even though he creates some of the playlists and he's in charge of the playlist that, you guys listen to, this and third, one of the things he's also, he's a huge hip hop fan, like the most avid, down to earth, knows everything, remembers everything, a guy that I would probably rival, anybody, including myself or whoever else, hip hop knowledge, hip hop memory, or even opinion with. Carl Chery's one of those guys. Just to let you know, for the just to let you know, for one of the guys, if you ever think about how you ever get like a job or a career as somebody as Carl Chery, you just gotta love music. You gotta be that obsessive. He's that obsessive. He lives, sleeps, breathes, shits, bleeds hip hop. That's how it is. For people like him, this is exciting. I mean, shit. Yeah, he did get disconnected. Not sure if he wants to get on. If he wants to get back on, he can definitely text me. I'll call him back. I'm glad that he even came on here. He was on for like 25 minutes, shared some opinions. Shit.